And hello again, everyone. I'm Chris Link. Welcome to Oklahoma Sportscene. Featured on this week's show, Bill Haisten, the Tulsa Sewell, joins us with a Big Four wrap-up, and also the insanity that is now college football. Another top head coach fires another $50 million buyout. We'll be joined by FC Tulsa soccer general manager Caleb Sewell. He talks about the playoffs coming up for his Western Conference Championship team. Rob Murray, Ice Holders coach, his 1,000th game, previews the season coming up. We'll have Randy Moss, NBC Sports, giving us a preview of the Breeders' Cup Thoroughbred Championships this weekend. And of course, Michael Light here with a prep football preview for us. All that coming up on Oklahoma Sports Scene here. Right now, let's start with the AP College Football Top 25 poll. And the top 5 remain the same this week. The poll, week number 10, led by the Big Ten's Ohio State, 54 first-place votes. Then Indiana, surprisingly, getting 11 votes. SEC, by the way, had 9 teams in the top 25, led by number 3, Texas A&M, even getting 1 first-place vote. Alabama's 4, Georgia 5, Ole Miss 7, and surprise, surprise, Vanderbilt number 9. That is the highest ranking for the Commodores since 1937. Sooners, by the way, dropped 5 spots down to number 18, with his opponent this Saturday, Tennessee, at number 13. This coming Tuesday, November the 4th at 7 p.m. on ESPN, College Football Playoff Selection Committee will announce the first of its 6 weekly poll leading to the December 7th final 12-team playoff rankings. That's coming up this Tuesday on ESPN, November 4th, 7 p.m. All right, let's take a look at this past Saturday's college football. Ole Miss beat Oklahoma in Norman 34-26. Rebels scored the last 9 points of the game. Auburn beat Arkansas 33-24 as the Razorbacks go to 0-4 in the SEC. Temple edged Tulsa in overtime 38-37, spoiling the Golden Hurricane homecoming. TU, by the way, now drops to 0-5 in the American Conference. And Texas Tech just rolled over Oklahoma State 42-0, and the Cowboys now 1-7 winless in the Big 12. Here's this week's week number 10 schedule. A couple of 3 p.m. games on ESPN Plus. Oklahoma State at Kansas. 3 p.m. on the SEC Network. Mississippi State at Arkansas. Then at 6:30, the big national game on ABC. Oklahoma at Tennessee. TU has an open date. They'll play next week, Saturday, November 8th, against Florida Atlantic. Well, the Oklahoma City Thunder off to a great start in their defense of their NBA championship. Last week, of course, in Oklahoma City, they opened the season by rolling down their championship banner and presenting their incredible championship rings. Here's the inside look at those championship rings for the Oklahoma City Thunder.
It took 121 days since the Thunder hoisted the Larry O'Brien, and now they've hoisted a banner and their new rings, covered in more than 800 gemstones. This championship ring celebrates a historic run and the history of Oklahoma City. Starting on the first side, players' names, the team's record, and lightning bolts. Flip it around, the year features the NBA logo and a diamond-covered year, but it's the other touches that caught our eye. Nods to the gates of time and reflecting pool at the National Memorial. Sit on the other side of the state motto, which means work conquers all things. An unforgettable run leading to an unforgettable ring. But the secret lies up top. The team, all grabbing the trophy, sits right inside where the coolest feature lives, a second band with every player's number and each player's signature sitting on the inside. Each piece placed by hand with a purpose, to remember a championship this city will never forget.
So as we move into the final quarter of the 2025 college football season, the chaos continues. We've just had the 10th football coach fired as Brian Kelly at LSU was dismissed, leaving with a buyout of over $50 million. Kelly's 4-year record, 34-14, got LSU to give him $50 million to leave. Estimated now Louisiana State will be on the hook for about $100 million to pay off his assistants. Then, of course, hire a new coach with another big contract. All in total, the 10 coaches who have been fired this year have buyouts that exceed over $160 million. And since July, nearly $80 million has been paid in name, image, likeness, and monies. The insanity continues in college football. Bill Haisten talks more about that. We come right back here on Oklahoma Sports Scene.
Our story. It lives in Tulsa, where the spirit of the past lives alongside us and urges us on toward a vibrant future. Because our story is still being written. It's the story of Tulsa, told by the journalists who live it and love it. Whether it's covering our rich history, bringing you the hidden gems of the food scene, or following the action in local sports. And here, in the Tulsa world, is where it comes to life.
The Tulsa Oilers are fresh off another playoff season. Don't let the ice cool down. Get your season tickets now for next year and save big. Season tickets start as low as $19 per month. Get your tickets at TulsaOilers.com. That's TulsaOilers.com. Experience hard-hitting, glove-dropping, pulse-pounding, glass-rattling kind of thrill. Season tickets are available now starting at only $19 per month. TulsaOilers.com. This is your town, your team, your Tulsa Oilers hockey.
The Springboard Mile, a Kentucky Derby points race for 2026, is one of the nation's last major two-year-old stakes races of the year. Remington Park's top two-year-old race leads a stellar final night of stakes races as the season ends on Springboard Mile night, Saturday, December 20th. The first race is at 5 p.m. Remington Park racing action stretches to 4 nights weekly in the month of December. Normal first race is 6 p.m. except for Springboard Mile night. Visit RemingtonPark.com for all post times, group rates, and dining reservations. The best racing, simulcast racing, and non-stop jackpot casino action is at Remington Park.
Tulsa, there is nothing better than summer vibes at the ballpark with your Tulsa Drillers, sipping on a cold beer, eating a hot dog, and having a great time with family and friends. The hope of catching a home run ball or running into everyone's favorite blue bowl, Hornsby. Cool off by grabbing an ice cream or playing in the Red Diamond splash pad. One Oak Field has something for everyone. Tickets start at only $10. Purchase now at TulsaDrillers.com. Go all in and we'll see you at the ballpark soon.
Welcome back to Oklahoma Sportscene. We're joined now by Tulsa World sports columnist Bill Haisten. Talk about the Big Four football to start things off. And Bill, of course, Oklahoma losing at home to Ole Miss. What was the difference in that football game?
Ole Miss had an 11-minute possession advantage, or advantage on possession time. 11 minutes, Chris. And Ole Miss wasn't great offensively. But if you keep the OU offense on the sideline all day, and then OU had a deficit in turnovers, OU made 8 penalties. Mateer really wasn't a difference-making guy that day. So yeah, I mean, now OU is one of 8 teams just in the AP Top 25. If you just look at the AP Top 25, Chris, there are 8 two-loss teams, which means that all those teams are on thin ice with regard to eventually winding up on the bracket in the playoff. Yeah. And then look at Oklahoma's upcoming schedule. Yeah. At Tennessee this week, at Alabama, and then you close the regular season at home against Mizzou, very, very good Missouri team, and LSU. A reeling, messed up LSU situation, yeah. Very talented nonetheless, and maybe LSU is motivated that night. We'll see, but very, very different. I didn't go through and look at every two-loss team's remaining schedule, but I bet you OU's is the most difficult. So, yeah, to ensure a spot in the playoff, OU's got to win at least 3 of these next 4, if not sweep these next 4. It'd be very difficult.
Oklahoma State was routed by Texas Tech 42-0 in Lubbock. They've now lost 15 straight games since they played for the Big 12 championship back in 2023. They're now 1-7 on this season, 0-5 in conference games.
But the crazier stat to me, Chris, other than just the fact that they lose every week, and we're still only 14 months removed from them being 13th, ranked 13th in the country, and being 3-0 last year to start that season. And since then, they've beaten Tennessee Martin, and that's it. And it's just, but this streak, this crazy streak, I think it's 13 consecutive games now, Chris, that the defense has given up at least 38 points. That's a disgrace. And of course, what it is too, it's a screaming, glaring indicator that Oklahoma State made some horrific mistakes in talent evaluation with some of the guys they brought in the portal. And so, yeah, the storyline on OSU now, to me, is far more weighted toward this coaching search than
Yeah.
it is toward the rest of this season. This season
Yeah.
has been on life support really since the night they lost to Tulsa.
Tulsa lost their homecoming game in overtime to Temple, 38-37, when they failed on a 2-point conversion in the overtime period.
I will say this: the best game I've seen this year was Tulsa Temple. Just in terms of up and down, back and forth, drama, big plays. Tulsa is a lot better team than it was a couple of weeks ago. A lot better. But you know what that is, Chris? They've got a freshman quarterback, Baylor Hayes, who is a rising star. I do believe that. He made tremendous plays there the other day against Temple, executed a literally perfect 2-minute drive at the end of the half, went 99 yards to score with 3 seconds left. I think Baylor Hayes, you know, you'd love to say, oh, look, Tulsa's got their quarterback of the future. Well, with the way things are today, is he even going to be there next year? But I am a believer in Baylor Hayes. He is a heck of a kid, a heck of a quarterback. Showed signs of that again in the Oklahoma State game, but really played well. Threw for 296 the other day. I liked the gamble in overtime. Trey Lamb left his offense on the field. I didn't like taking the ball out of the hands of your best player, Baylor Hayes, and having a tight end try a pass play. It's crazy to say, but spiritually, coming out of the weekend, probably maybe TU's in a better place than the Sooners or the Cowboys. That was a pretty sobering loss for OU at home against a team you should beat at home, Ole Miss. But but Tulsa, tough game, 38-37, great game to watch. And Trey Lamb if they're going to go to a bowl, you got to win the rest of his games.
The Razorbacks are now 2-6, 0-4 in SEC play. And Bill, what's the story in Fayetteville?
Overwhelmingly, the most talked about storyline over there. It's not the week in and week out football season or the matchups. It's the coaching search and what's going to happen with that. And will Bobby Petrino get that job? I'm going to be pretty stunned if he gets that job beyond the end of this season.
And now, Bill, let's get your letter grades for the Big 4 football weekend just passed. Let's start with Oklahoma State.
Straight F for Oklahoma State. Good grief! Give up a 99-yard opening kickoff touchdown. Okay, just awful. Out at Lubbock, Oklahoma. I'm going to say the inability to extend possessions, just in a big picture way. I'm going to say, and the inability to hold a lead, Chris, late in the game. I'm going to give the Sooners a D. Oklahoma's not supposed to lose home games to anybody, and especially when it's a really meaningful football game. So that's a D for the Sooners. I'll give Tulsa a C plus. The outcome wasn't what they wanted, but man, they moved the football very effectively all day. Defense got a couple of 4th down stops, but once again, you're playing Temple. You should win that game at home.
Arkansas.
Their personnel's better than this.
Yeah.
And you could argue that just pure athleticism and quarterback talent, that right now the Razorbacks, you could argue, are situated at least as good as Oklahoma and better than the other two for sure. I mean, Arkansas should be winning more football games. They just should. No, I'll just they've underachieved like crazy, and for some reason they're not inspired. It didn't feel like, and I'll give Arkansas a D minus.
Well, the coaching carousel continued. Ryan Kelly losing his job at LSU, $50 million plus buyout. 10 coaches, FBS coaches lost their jobs at the start of the year. They said over $160 million in buyout money. That's just insane, Bill.
Well, it's insane when you remember also that you need that money now to pay the athletes, right? Yeah. So now you're dipping into the pockets of the donors, not only for the athlete revenue, but to buy out these coaches. And like Mike Gundy's buyout amounts to a relatively modest, I guess, $15 million.
Yeah.
That will be paid out over 3 years in Stillwater. And you're like, well, that's not 49 million or that's not whatever. It's still a hell of a lot of money.
Yeah.
And it's money that could be spent, you know, in any variety of other ways, but primarily on athlete revenue. I mean, and you hear about like Iowa State literally canceling a Hilton Coliseum renovation because they say, well, we got to commit that money to athlete revenue. And now, so when you combine these very expensive coaching buyouts with what it costs just to put a team on the field now, I just don't know how this is this. But when Billy Gillespie, he called me out of the blue, I told you, Chris, and he's concerned. We just were just chatting it up because we hadn't talked in a while. But he's like, I don't know how long this is sustainable. I don't know how long you know what I mean? And I agree with him 1,000%.
Yeah.
1,000%. I mean, this is not a sustainable model. And I just don't know how many times you can keep going back to the same donors. And I've said it and I've written it and I believe it.
Yeah.
Wealthy people didn't get to be wealthy by being stupid. And at some point, they're going to realize this is not a smart investment on my money. So yeah, it's the carousel situation this year. I mean, when Jimbo Fisher gets bought out for 70+ million, you're like, yikes. But when there's in a single season, James Franklin and an LSU and these 50 million plus buyouts start getting stacked, you're like, man, this is insanity.
Yeah. Bill Haisten, Tulsa World, always great to have you on, Bill. Thanks for joining us on Oklahoma Sports Scene. We'll catch up with you later this season.
All right.
Thanks again.
Thank you, Chris.
Right back at One on Sports Scene after this timeout.
The Wee Street Ice Center, the coolest place in town, is the only place you can skate like the pros. With 2 rinks, there's always time to strap on the blades and hit the ice. The Wee Street Ice Center at 43rd and Yale is your family fun destination. Try out the game simulator rooms or hit the arcade. When you get hungry, grab a bite at Puck's Sports Bar and Grill with delicious food, great drink specials, and more. It's Midtown Tulsa's coolest entertainment center. Wee Street Ice Center, the coolest place in town. Come get your skate on.
Founded in 1960, Ed Bashira's Formal Wear and Fine Clothing has been dressing gentlemen for over half a century. We are family-owned and operated, offering premium brand tuxedos and accessories in our Tulsa store on South Harvard. Bashira's also does made-to-measure suits, sports coats, dress shirts, and slacks, and a top line of sportswear. We do tailoring on-site to assure the perfect fit so you will look your very best for that special occasion. Ed Bashira's Formal Wear and Fine Clothing, an Oklahoma tradition.
The Tulsa Whalers are fresh off another playoff season. Don't let the ice cool down. Get your season tickets now for next year and save big. Season tickets start as low as $19 per month. Get your tickets at TulsaWhalers.com. That's TulsaWhalers.com. Experience hard-hitting, glove-dropping, pulse-pounding, glass-rattling kind of thrill. Season tickets are available now starting at only $19 per month. TulsaWhalers.com. This is your town, your team, your Tulsa Whalers hockey.
The Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame, home of the Paycom Jim Thorpe Award, is a treasure trove of memorabilia honoring Oklahoma sports legends. For museum hours or to schedule a tour, go to oklahomasportshalloffame.org.
We're back on Oklahoma Sports Scene and back with the gentleman who's in charge of FC Tulsa. He is their sporting director, general manager, Caleb Sewell. Caleb, we first start with congratulations on a Western Conference championship. That was a great team effort.
Thanks. Yeah, it was a definitely a long regular season, but a successful one. And we're happy with how that went. With it being sort of a first year in many ways for new staff, new players, new group. But yeah, we're not done yet. We definitely have a couple big weeks in front of us, and we're looking forward to that.
Capped the regular season with that great 3-0 victory over Colorado Springs. Fan Appreciation Night this past Saturday at One Oak Field. The fans turned out despite the rainy weather and stuff, but had great fan support this season.
Yeah, look, I think it's something that we've been really trying to evolve in terms of the fans seeing a winning product, a winning team, a team that they can support into the playoffs, which is a breath of fresh air, I think, for our fans who have had a bit of a lean run. But yeah, it's definitely the excitement's growing, and I think this week it's shaping up to be a sold out stadium. So we're looking forward to that, and they'll definitely play a part in giving the guys an extra lift on the pitch as they have done all year.
Yeah, talk about your rematch actually with Colorado Springs. The Switchbacks are coming back for a playoff, and talk about the playoff in the USL. How's it set up? And I know we have the home field though throughout the playoffs for the Western Conference, right?
Yeah, that's the benefit of finishing in the first seed. So as long as we can be into the next rounds, we'll always be at home until potentially a final. And at that point, we'll see what those folks in the Eastern Conference are doing. But single elimination, we obviously play Colorado in the last match of the season. We bring them back here for the first round of playoffs. They're a very good team. They won it last year. So with that being said, a really good opponent. So we'll need to be at our best. I'm sure the guys will prepare well throughout the week, and we're just looking forward to the match.
Let's look at some of the numbers so far for this 2025 historic season. The FC Tulsa, 16 wins, 9 draws, 5 losses, 57 points, and 15 weeks in first place in the USL West.
That's right. It's pretty remarkable to think that we've done that for such a long period. And obviously in America is a little different to Europe in the sense of, the most consistent teams in Europe, that's your final standings. We obviously do it in the playoff format, but from, a consistency viewpoint and making sure that we're building year on year, this is a really good platform for us in year one, at least of my time at the club. And it holds us in good stead as we move forward. But obviously, those 15 weeks count for nothing when you go to the playoffs. So it's going to be a different ball game, and we very much look forward to that.
Well, first year head coach Luke Spencer has talked about the culture of this team. What is the culture of the FC Tulsa side?
Yeah, look, Luke Spencer's done a phenomenal job. He knows the league inside and out. Pleasure to work with. Coach of the year for me. So I fully expect that he wins that honor at the end of the year. The staff we put together to aid him as well have done a phenomenal job. Look, when we came, we definitely seen things very similar in terms of culture, and that's a big thing for me. Is how do we instill that, and how do we get everybody on the same page? And he's very much aided that, driven that. And that vision is coming to life, and I think it's a collective vision from the club as to where we want to go, and we've held high standards this year. We haven't deviated from that, couldn't be more proud of Luke, the players, and the staff. They've come together and done an amazing job.
This is Caleb Sewell, the sporting director, general manager of FC Tulsa. Caleb's also pretty obvious. The Kraft family has made a real commitment and a real supporter of this club.
Yeah, I think soccer at this level in this city doesn't exist without the Kraft family. I think, recently we were accepted into the FIFA World Cup brochure as a potential training venue for a national team throughout the World Cup. And again, that's off the back of the Kraft family, what they've done here at Ascension St. John Sportsplex. It's a phenomenal facility. Obviously making some headway on a stadium. So again, what they've done in terms of investment and keeping this place going, it's been phenomenal. And I know that they are passionate about taking this to new levels, and we want to do that with them, right? We want to make sure that they own a team that they can be proud of, that's making an impact in the city, both on and off the pitch. And I think, we're well underway to doing that.
What many call the world's greatest sporting tournament, the Soccer World Cup, coming to North America 2016. We'll be showing the United States, Canada, and Mexico, the venues. Talk about a possible training site, though. It's quite a feather in FC Tulsa's cap. They could be selected for one of the teams to come here to train for the World Cup.
Yeah, I think it's incredible, right? Started kind of with a phone call to FIFA, and it sped from there, and they've flown into town and multiple times. But a lot of hard work. The ownership's been hard at work. We've been hard at work on the technical side with the facilities and those sorts of things. And I think in general, for us to be one of 66 sort of potential venues between Mexico, Canada, and America, when you think about it like that, it's pretty phenomenal that we're in that company. Obviously, we still need to get a national team here. I'm sure we will. But in general, I think, again, it just goes back to the facilities that we're blessed with, the investment that the ownership have made, and for us to be seen potentially on a world stage now and to showcase that, I think that's phenomenal, not only for FC Tulsa, but also for the city of Tulsa as a whole.
Well, it's incredible. The first big date for World Cup. By the way, the draw for the teams will be coming up on December the 5th. And we wrap things up here with a look ahead to Saturday night, the big opener of the playoffs. What do you have planned special for the fans and for the audience here getting ready for the big playoff game?
Yes, I think there's definitely giveaways for those first fans through the stadium to come in. So I'd say get there early and come with as many friends as you can. I think in general, it's shaping up to be a sellout. So I would say if you've not got tickets, to go ahead and do that relatively quickly. I know we've sold out already multiple parts of the stadium, and so there's minimal amounts left. So I think it's going to be a really fun night of soccer in Tulsa. Definitely, we've not seen a night like this for many years. First home playoff match, I think, it was told to me the other day, in 4 decades. So I think, with that being said, it's going to be a memorable night. We look forward to having a good performance and hopefully sending the fans home happy. And they can definitely aid us as we go throughout the playoffs.
And it's a one and done elimination playoff. Let's get out there and support FC Tulsa. It's Caleb Sewell, the sporting director, general manager. One of the big reasons for the success of this club. Caleb, congratulations. Look forward to being there through the playoffs with you, and thanks for your support.
Brilliant. Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, we're right back to talk hockey. The Ice Holders coach Rob Murray after we take this break.
The Tulsa Whalers are fresh off another playoff season. Don't let the ice cool down. Get your season tickets now for next year and save big. Season tickets start as low as $19 per month. Get your tickets at TulsaOilers.com. That's TulsaOilers.com. Experience hard-hitting, glove-dropping, pulse-pounding, glass-rattling kind of thrill. Season tickets are available now starting at only $19 per month. TulsaOilers.com. This is your town, your team, your Tulsa Oilers hockey.
Our story. It lives in Tulsa, where the spirit of the past lives alongside us and urges us on toward a vibrant future. Because our story is still being written. It's the story of Tulsa, told by the journalists who live it and love it. Whether it's covering our rich history, bringing you the hidden gems of the food scene, or following the action in local sports. And here, in the Tulsa world, is where it comes to life.
Founded in 1960, Ed Bashira's formal wear and fine clothing has been dressing gentlemen for over half a century. We are family owned and operated, offering premium brand tuxedos and accessories at our Tulsa store on South Harvard. Bashira's also does made-to-measure suits, sports coats, dress shirts, and slacks, and a top line of sportswear. We do tailoring on site to assure the perfect fit so you will look your very best for that special occasion. Ed Bashira's formal wear and fine clothing, an Oklahoma tradition.
The Wee Street Ice Center, the coolest place in town, is the only place you can skate like the pros. With 2 rinks, there's always time to strap on the blades and hit the ice. The Wee Street Ice Center at 43rd and Yale is your family fun destination. Try out the game simulator rooms or hit the arcade. When you get hungry, grab a bite at Puck's Sports Bar and Grill with delicious food, great drink specials, and more. It's Midtown Tulsa's coolest entertainment center. Wee Street Ice Center, the coolest place in town. Come get your skate on.
We're joined now on Oklahoma Sports Scene by the head coach of the Tulsa Ice Holders, Rob Murray. Coach, first of all, congratulations on that 1,000th career game at the start of this season. Quite an accomplishment.
I appreciate that. I actually surpassed the 1,000 game mark a couple of years ago as far as professional hockey.
Right.
But it's 1,000 games in the ECHL, and I kind of go into a very small category there. Both only 4 other coaches have ever achieved that, and also only 2 have achieved it with also having a Kelly Cup championship. So very blessed, and it kind of snuck up on me, quite honestly. I didn't even know. I don't keep track of those numbers. Yeah. And so Zach Reynolds mentioned to me last week that I was approaching it. So it's a great milestone, but I guess it just comes with longevity, right?
Well, I had to admit it. Last week I gave you on the show, congratulated on 1,000 winners as a coach.
Yeah. And again, that's a number that I have no idea. I know I had my 400th win.
Yeah.
Way back. So I got to be either over 500 or close to it. So yeah, I like, that's what the PR guys are for.
Well, the season underway. Give us a little rundown and a look at this 2025-26 team we put on ice here.
Not very good so far. I mean, to just call it what it is. We're 1-3. Yesterday we lost 5-2 to Tahoe, but I thought we played. It was encouraging because I thought we played a lot better than we have. We split in Iowa to begin the weekend or the season, and then we lost on Friday night, our opener to Tahoe. Really good team Tahoe has. And I think we got some improvement to find one way or another right now, Chris. But it's early. There's opportunity to change the personnel. There's opportunity to work a lot in practice, and hopefully we gotta get this figured out sooner than later. So I'm not discouraged. I'm not worried about it. But I do feel that we need to put a better product on the ice, and be it the players themselves and the coaching staff. We got to be. It's a team game, and we're all involved, and we all have to be better.
Well, it all starts in the net. What do you think of goaltending so far?
I have no issues whatsoever with our goalies, and we just kind of hung them out to dry this weekend. And, like yesterday, we lost 5-2. They scored on 4 breakaways. Like if you're going through the season and you don't give up a breakaway for 5 games, that's commonplace. We gave up 4 yesterday, and they scored on every breakaway. Could have used a save on 1 or 2 of them, but I can't blame the goaltending. I think both Budiets and Suchanek are top line goalies, and that to me is I think that'll be a constant as long as the 2 of them are here. They're definitely the guys that I think on any given night is going to give us a chance to win, and that's all you want to ask for from a goaltender.
Early evaluation. What do you feel are the strengths of this young team?
Well, we're big, we're tough, and we're physical. And I think one of the things that we have to improve on is scoring. And I don't, I'm a realist. I mean, we don't have that top end guy that could maybe change the game. But we have guys that have the capability to score. And we're just not getting enough offensive output from the group that we have as of right now. Now, like I said, I think we have the capability to do it, and we do have to tighten up defensively. Like I said, we can be confident that our goaltenders are going to be good every night, but in turn, the team in front of them have to be better defensively also. But in general, Chris, we're still a fast team. We're, like I said, we're big and heavy as far as our physicality goes. And we just need to a little bit kind of maybe just systematically kind of tighten it up all throughout the game and, find a consistency.
Well, the fans are certainly turning out, and they've had some great crowds last year, and looks like they're ready to follow hockey to be okay again this year as well. Some really good rabid Oiler fans. Yeah,
it was great. I think I didn't look at the attendance on Sunday afternoon, but Friday night was 15,123 or something like that. And, that's considering how hard it was raining on Friday. I don't know whether, that scares people away or not. It wasn't snow. So that's that was lucky, but we definitely, it's something that has become a constant here now. I mean, it's, the fan support, but everybody wants to watch a winner though, Chris. And that's where, like I said, we got to get better. We got to start winning some games and make our fans happy.
I know you will, Coach. Thanks for joining us always. Local Sportscene will keep up with you, of course, throughout this season, and all the best to you guys.
Always love being here. Thank you.
Be right back after we take this break here on Oklahoma Sportscene. Stay right there.
The Tulsa Whalers are fresh off another playoff season. Don't let the ice cool down. Get your season tickets now for next year and save big. Season tickets start as low as $19 per month. Get your tickets at TulsaOilers.com. That's TulsaOilers.com. Experience hard-hitting, glove-dropping, pulse-pounding, glass-rattling kind of thrill. Season tickets are available now starting at only $19 per month. TulsaOilers.com. This is your town, your team, your Tulsa Oilers hockey.
Founded in 1960, Ed Bashira's formal wear and fine clothing has been dressing gentlemen for over half a century. We are family owned and operated, offering premium brand tuxedos and accessories at our Tulsa store on South Harvard. Bashira's also does made-to-measure suits, sports coats, dress shirts, and slacks, and a top line of sportswear. We do tailoring on site to assure the perfect fit so you will look your very best for that special occasion. Ed Bashira's formal wear and fine clothing, an Oklahoma tradition.
Tulsa, there is nothing better than summer vibes at the ballpark with your Tulsa Drillers. Sipping on a cold beer, eating a hot dog, and having a great time with family and friends. The hope of catching a home run ball or running into everyone's favorite blue bowl, Hornsby. Cool off by grabbing an ice cream or playing in the Red Diamond Splash Pad. One Oak Field has something for everyone. Tickets start at only $10. Purchase now at TulsaDrillers.com. Go all in and we'll see you at the ballpark soon.
And time now for our weekly visit with Michael Knight. He's the Prep Redzone editor, all things high school football. Michael, it was a strange week in high school football. Weather really impacted things.
Yeah, Mother Nature definitely won week 8 across the state of Oklahoma, as we had a lot of games that got moved up to Thursday to try to avoid a lot of weather on Friday, and they ended up getting delayed on Thursday as well. We had games that didn't start until 9 o'clock on Thursday night. We had games that were going past midnight. Eventually, one game got called after 1 a.m. Because it didn't look like they were going to be able to get back on the field until at least 2 a.m. So Mother Nature definitely reigned supreme in week 8.
Well, Bixby is now the only undefeated team still left in Division 6A1, but it wasn't easy for them at Mustang.
Yeah, you mentioned one of those games that didn't get started until a lot later after the original scheduled time. And, the final score isn't really indicative of how close that game was. I mean, it was a one-possession game basically for all 4 quarters. Bixby able to pull away in the 4th quarter. They scored a late touchdown for district points purposes. And just in case there's a 3-way tiebreaker, doesn't look like there's going to be, but just in case, they're able to get a 16-point win. But yeah, I mean, look, we've been talking about Mustang and how they're a team on the west side of the state that can really push some of the top powers in the Tulsa area, and Bixby found out the hard way. Now, granted, weather certainly had a huge impact on that game for both teams, but, if Bixby were to run into Mustang again later on, who knows how that goes.
Yeah, Bixby won that 38-22. I was impressed. They had 620 yards of total offense, 500 yards rushing. That running back of theirs, Jason Mall, had 306 yards, but they had a tough time getting into the end zone.
Yeah, only 1 touchdown after 300 yards on the ground, over 30 carries. You typically see more than 1 touchdown, but they also have another short yardage back, Jack Gill. He had a couple of those touchdowns. So it's one of those things where once Bixby gets close to the goal line, they're bringing in that heavy package and they're giving it to those guys that, this year it's Jack Gill. Last year it was Cooper Parker. Those guys that, more times than not, when they're hit, they're falling forward and they eat up those touchdowns near the goal line.
Tell us what was going on in Stillwater and Putnam City game. Wow.
Yeah, I mentioned one of those games that went past 1 o'clock, and it was shortly after 1 a.m. They were late in the 3rd quarter, and both teams agreed, like, okay, we're just going to call it. I feel for Putnam City. They were down 33-20. This was a game that was going to decide the district championship. And to have to be like, we're essentially waving the white flag. We're not going to continue to try to play this game. The options were very slim. Weather didn't look good on Friday or Saturday to restart the game. The only other option would have been to play on Monday. Neither team really wanted to do that, so they decided to call it shortly after 1. Huge win for Stillwater. Putnam City still going to be in the mix though in 6A2.
And Michael, where were you on week 8?
I went to Jones for a game with the Longhorns in Mount St. Mary. I've been talking about Jones as being the top threat in Class 2A1 to Washington, and they showed it on Thursday night. They had to wait a little while. We had a bit of a lightning delay, about an hour and a half of a lightning delay, but overall, Jones with a big win, 50-20. The running game was special. It was senior night at Jones, and their top two seniors, Haisten and Luke DeBusk. They both had huge games in the win. So big win for Jones. And it kind of, hammered home the fact that they are one of the top teams in that class that could push Washington when it's all said and done.
And a couple of teams suffered their first losses of the season. Both Altus and Ada lost for the first time.
Yeah, down in southeastern Oklahoma, Broken Bow with a huge win over Ada. Graydon Howell, their star quarterback, had a huge night. More people need to start talking about him. He had a special performance and the big win for Broken Bow to get back into the district championship hunt over Ada. And then on Saturday afternoon, another game that was pushed because of weather. Guthrie hosting Altus. Altus hadn't lost this season, but this was definitely going to be their toughest test of the year so far. Close game throughout. I was there for that one, an overtime classic. Both of these teams have the potential to make a run when the playoffs begin. But when you're talking about that district, all eyes are on Carl Albert. So now Guthrie got a huge win over Altus. Now they have to go to Carl Albert in week 10. Carl Albert will go to Altus. So that's the district that's dominated by the defending 5A champs. But it was a fun game on Saturday. Jelsman Stadium is one of the more historic stadiums in Oklahoma. But on Saturday, it turned into an absolute mud pit after all the rain and natural grass surface. It was fun. It was a fun setting for a high school football game.
So, Michael, what are the big games you're going to be going to on week number 9 coming up?
I'm going to southwestern Oklahoma, all the way down in Class A2. You have Mangum and Thomas, both of those teams undefeated on the season. Top 3 teams in that class, potentially challenging Talihina for that top spot in the class. So I'll be there on Friday night. On Thursday, I'm seeing another undefeated team, Coweta, hosting Booker T. Washington. That's a big game in Class 5A. I mentioned Jones. That's an undefeated team, one of the top teams in 2A1. They're traveling to Edmond to take on OCS. That's another matchup featuring 2 undefeated teams. So a lot of really good football in week 9. Davis hosting Holdenville is another huge game. So a lot of district championships are going to be decided this week. And I love the fact that we're in week 9 and we're seeing 2 teams that are undefeated facing off against one another, and we're getting it in multiple classes.
Before we wrap things up, you want to talk about a former Muskogee High School star quarterback you covered who's made quite an impact at the University of Utah now.
Yeah, Jamarian Ficklin, former Muskogee quarterback, was one of our Player of the Year finalists 2 years in a row. They call him Bird, and he definitely flew on Saturday night as he's a true freshman for Utah. He helped lead Muskogee to back-to-back championship game appearances, won it in 2023. Under-recruited quarterback because he's a left-hander. I heard a lot of offensive coordinators say, well, we don't really want to flip our playbook. Well, then you don't really want to win, because Bird Ficklin, in his first career start at Utah as a true freshman, huge performance against Colorado, throwing the ball, running the ball, put up huge numbers. And it was really cool to see, just as a guy who, we watched him for the last several years here at the Oklahoma high school football level. And now he's, doing big things as a true freshman at the Big 12 level.
All right, Michael, look forward to your report next week. Well, coming up next, Randy Moss, NBC Sports, will preview the Breeders' Cup Thoroughbred Championships this week at Del Mar.
The Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame, home of the Paycom Jim Thorpe Award, is a treasure trove of memorabilia honoring Oklahoma sports legends. For museum hours or to schedule a tour, go to oklahomasportshalloffame.org.
Our story. It lives in Tulsa, where the spirit of the past lives alongside us and urges us on toward a vibrant future. Because our story is still being written. It's the story of Tulsa, told by the journalists who live it and love it. Whether it's covering our rich history, bringing you the hidden gems of the food scene, or following the action in local sports. And here, in the Tulsa world, is where it comes to life.
Tulsa, there is nothing better than summer vibes at the ballpark with your Tulsa Drillers, sipping on a cold beer, eating a hot dog, and having a great time with family and friends. The hope of catching a home run ball or running into everyone's favorite blue bowl, Hornsby. Cool off by grabbing an ice cream or playing in the Red Diamond Splash Pad. One Oak Field has something for everyone. Tickets start at only $10. Purchase now at TulsaDrillers.com. Go all in, and we'll see you at the ballpark soon.
And I can say hello again, everyone, to my good friend Randy Moss, NBC Sports Silver Racing Analyst. We worked together for a number of years here in Tulsa.
Yes, we did.
ESPN, my friend. 42nd Breeders' Cup World Championships, and you've been to almost all of them, haven't you, Randy?
I missed the first one, Chris.
Okay.
I missed 84 at Hollywood Park, but I've been to every other one except 1995. I was working in management at Oaklawn Park, and I missed that one too. But all the other ones I've been to, and it's nice to say, as you can see, boots on the ground at lovely Del Mar.
Nothing like it. Where the turf meets the surf, and beautiful grandstand behind you there, Randy. The weather looks perfect as usual at Del Mar. And what are the storylines for this Breeders' Cup 42?
Well, the primary storyline, as usual, but even more so this year, is the Breeders' Cup Classic and how unbelievable it is on paper. I mean, you've got Sovereignty, obviously, who's right now a heavy favorite for Horse of the Year as a 3-year-old. But imagine this now. You said 42 Breeders' Cup, right? 42nd Breeders' Cup. Out of the 41 previous years of the Breeders' Cup, only once before have we had the 1, 2, 3 finishers from the previous year's Classic come back and run again the next year.
Oh, wow.
Only once in the previous 41 years of the Breeders' Cup have we had the 1, 2, 3 finishers of that year's Kentucky Derby all come into the Classic. Now we're getting both at the same time. The odds on that, I calculated it, Chris. It's like 1,700 to 1 that you can have that happen based on the previous stats for the Breeders' Cup. So it's a spectacular Breeders' Cup Classic, and it's really it's not the grand finale, but it's the one that everybody's really paying the most attention to for good reason.
Entries today, they had the post-position draws for the 14 races over the 2 days. I saw something like 61 international entries. Randy, who stands out as some of the foreign horses that have shipped in to challenge the local horses?
Well, as usual, Aidan O'Brien is here with Coolmore horses and with a very strong hand, although they didn't treat him very hospitably in the post-position draw.
Ooh.
On Friday, Aidan's going to have 3 favorites: True Love in the Juvenile Turf Sprint. He's going to have a horse named Stad in the Juvenile Turf, and Precise, who is being billed as the number 1 3-year-old filly in all of Europe, is running in the Juvenile Fillies Turf. Precise drew post position number 13, far outside. Stad drew post position number 14, far outside. So he's already disadvantaged, but he's won 25 Group 1 stakes so far in the calendar year 2025.
Wow.
His record, the world record, his own record, is 28 in a calendar year. So he's got a shot at the Breeders' Cup. They're going to have 4 favorites this year, but he's loaded.
Well, again, there's so many great stories around the Breeders' Cup as always, and looking forward to some of the real human interest stories too, Randy. Who are you kind of rooting for?
Oh, well, I mean, there's, as is always the case, I mean, there's a horse that's running in the turf sprint named Bucanero Fuerte that nobody in the United States has ever heard of. He was a Group 1 winner over there as a sprinter. Then they retired him to stud, and he had fertility issues, and they brought him back this year. And you've been around horse racing. When you have that happen, a horse almost never comes back and runs as well. He may be better now that they brought him back than he was before. And obviously there's so many good storylines with the Japanese horses. Forever Young is going to be taking on Sovereignty in the Classic. And I'm telling you, Chris, out of all the dirt races run around the world so far this year, the very best was the Saudi Cup. It was the most impressive dirt race of the year, where Forever Young defeated a horse named Romantic Warrior. And if Forever Young can get back to that form in the Classic, he's got a great chance to upset Sovereignty.
Randy, give us some winners. Who are your best bets and who are your best long shots?
Oh, well, I'll give you a long shot. There's a horse called Sea to Fire, who again was compromised by the post position draw. She's in the Filly and Mare Turf, which is the last race of all the Breeders' Cup races on Saturday. She's still got a really good chance at the price she's going to be. And she drew post 14, but Sea to Fire is probably going to be 10 or 12 to 1, maybe even a little bit higher. And I think she's got a really good shot in there. I'm still trying to calculate, exactly who I like and who I don't like based on the draw. A lot of horses were compromised by the draw. Some really good horses drew post position number 1 that didn't want it. For example, Chris, Fierceness, who is another one of the leading contenders in the Classic this year. He was second in the Classic last year. Todd Pletcher. He ran in the Pacific Classic here at Del Mar as his final prep. He drew post position number 1. And when they left the gate, he took a left turn and looked like he was going to jump over the rail. And John Velasquez straightened him up, and he won anyway. And now he's back at Del Mar, same distance, 1.25 miles. And Todd Pletcher said, all I care about is that he doesn't draw post position number 1. And what do you think he drew? Post position number 1. So there are a lot of horses that are kind of compromised by the draw, and it's going to require some pretty stout handicapping, Chris.
Well, they got a lot of TV with NBC fighting, of course, the future stars, they call it, on Saturday, full day of racing. But as we close out the thoroughbred year of 2025, Randy, what is the state of this thoroughbred racing industry in your mind?
Not especially healthy, but it's the same, the same tune that we've been singing for a long time. Yeah. The betting, especially when you look at, compared to 15, 20 years ago is not good, but it really depends on where you're at.
Yeah.
Okay. Kentucky is going great guns. Belmont Park is just completely renovating Belmont, and there'll be a brand new Belmont Park online next year. Pimlico is being completely redone. Churchill Downs has been redone for the most part. Oaklawn is going really well. So there are pockets around the country where thoroughbred racing is still incredibly vibrant and incredibly healthy. And that's a positive thing, at least.
Randy, thanks for taking the time, my friend. Hope we'll talk to you next week to kind of get a recap and cash our tickets with you there, buddy.
All right, Chris, you got it. Take care.
All the best. We'll come right back with our thoroughbred race report from Remington Park right after this break.
The Springboard Mile, a Kentucky Derby points race for 2026, is one of the nation's last major two-year-old stakes races of the year. Remington Park's top two-year-old race leads a stellar final night of stakes races as the season ends on Springboard Mile night, Saturday, December 20th. The first race is at 5 p.m. Remington Park racing action stretches to 4 nights weekly in the month of December. Normal first race is 6 p.m. except for Springboard Mile night. Visit RemingtonPark.com for all post times, group rates, and dining reservations. The best racing, simulcast racing, and non-stop jackpot casino action is at Remington Park.
The Tulsa Whalers are fresh off another playoff season. Don't let the ice cool down. Get your season tickets now for next year and save big. Season tickets start as low as $19 per month. Get your tickets at TulsaWhalers.com. That's TulsaWhalers.com. Experience hard-hitting, glove-dropping, pulse-pounding, glass-rattling kind of thrill. Season tickets are available now starting at only $19 per month. TulsaWhalers.com. This is your town, your team, your Tulsa Whalers hockey.
The Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame, home of the Paycom Jim Thorpe Award, is a treasure trove of memorabilia honoring Oklahoma sports legends. For museum hours or to schedule a tour, go to oklahomasportshalloffame.org.
We are now past the halfway point of this 2025 thoroughbred season at Remington Park. And now the focus turns to the two-year-old stakes races at the end of the meeting, the Springboard Mile and the Toby Keith Stakes. Let's take a quick look back to Oklahoma Classics night and the two-year-old stakes races that evening. The two-year-old Lassie for the fillies and the juvenile for the males. The Oklahoma Classics Lassie featured two-year-old Oklahoma bred fillies going 6 furlongs. Wide fourth, out of her way. Lanalua coming through traffic now fifth. Loomis Brisket 6th. As they approach the quarter pole, Cindy Loper on even terms now with Flat Out Kelsey up front. The Linhan long shot battling for third with Lana Lua off the turn. Cindy Loper is first to the stretch, there by a pair. Lana Lua coming on strongly to the inside. Flat Out Kelsey backing up, and Mama Sia still fighting on. Final furlong, it's Cindy Loper up by 3, drifting about, but is very clear here. And the final 16th, Cindy Loper off to a coronation to win the first stakes race of the night. Cindy Loper by 5 in the Lassie. Cindy Loper stays undefeated with a sharp score for owner Pamela Grossman of Fredericksburg, Texas, and trainer Francisco Bravo. Floyd Wethy was up for the win, one of his 3 wins on Oklahoma Classics night. Lana Lua was second with Mama Sia third. On now to the Oklahoma Classics Juvenile for the males. The field makes the turn. 3 furlongs to go. Sooner Red back on top. Little Elvis now in pursuit. As going the other way is Love You Father after a quick burst up the backstretch. Wide in third, that is How About Bob, and Royal American finding some space out there, battling as well. Quarter mile to go, off the turn. It is Sooner Red, nearest the rail, on top by a pair. Here's Little Elvis, chased by Royal American, and How About Bob. Race on, these 4 in the Juvenile. Royal American splits rivals and goes right to the front. Royal American, highly touted through the summer and early part of the meet, now living up to that billing, out by 3 and rolling home in the Juvenile. Royal American puts them away. Royal American breaks his maiden status in his 3rd start of the season and wins a nice stakes race in the process. For owner, trainer, breeder C.R. Trout, jockey David Cabrera was up. Lil Elvis was second, with How About Bob third. An important note about these 2-year-old stakes races at Remington Park: the owners of the top 3 finishers in these races are now eligible for a free breeding season to Senor Buscador, who now stands at Lanes End Farm in Kentucky. Senor Buscador was the 2020 Springboard Mile winner at Remington Park. There was a sharp debut winner on October 18th, who we hope to see again before the season ends. Trainer Brett Calhoun was finally able to get Auto Drive to the races. Dero's Deputy now inside, rolling ahead of Eileen Wright. Gap of 5 to Cucamonga. Salevo on the move. Bishop Creek from the back leaves Street Blessing back there. Auto Drive takes over. Auto Drive emerges with the lead with a quarter mile to go and is out by 5. Brink of War to the inside, battling with Mischievous Intent, Quality Style. Farther out, Eileen Wright trying to move up. Dero's Deputy has really come on after a poor beginning. Farther out as well, Salevo could be a minor award winner. Deep in the stretch, it's Auto Drive, up by 8 and pulling free with ease. Auto Drive wrapped up at the end, keeps it under double digits. Auto Drive made his first career start as a 3-year-old and impressed doing so, gliding home easily. Look for him in Allowance Company coming up this season. Remington Park Racing continues Thursday through Saturday, October 30th through November 1st. Please note Thursday racing begins at 6 p.m., but we are slightly later on both Friday, October 31st and Saturday, November 1st, starting at 6:20 p.m. The reason for the later start on Friday and Saturday, the Breeders' Cup simulcast races coming to Remington Park from Del Mar. Don't forget on Saturday, the big $7 million Breeders' Cup Classic takes place at 5:25 p.m. Central, Remington Park at 6:20 both Friday and Saturday. In Oklahoma City at Remington Park, I'm Dale Day. Now back to Sportscene.
Next week on Oklahoma Sportscene, be sure to join us. We have a special guest, Dr. Brandon Kitchens from the Tulsa Bone and Joint Group. Talk about Achilles tendon injuries and the treatment for it. Randy Moss, NBC Sports, is back to recap the Breeders' Cup Thoroughbred Championship weekend. Of course, our Big Four football recap. Michael Knight has his rundown and recap of the prep high school football action. All that next week on Oklahoma Sports Scene. Till then, as we always remind you, be a good sport.